Rebound, a contemporary dance film created and performed by Laura Jones. Laura is a wheelchair dancer. She has long dark brown hair caught back at the nape of her neck, well-arched eyebrows and soft brown eyes. She's wearing a sleeveless purple vest, dark blue trousers with wide legs and soft black shoes. Laura is performing in a bright studio space with a wooden floor. Behind her is a wall of brick piers and rough concrete set with horizontal lines of flint pebbles. Rebound. A closed eye. The eye opens, blinks and widens. Laura looks down at her right shoulder and slowly rotates it back. She swings her arm across and drums her fingers on her left shoulder. She swings her arm back, then out. The movement flows softly like a wave. Her hand drops to clutch the metal wheel of her chair. Leaning left, she rotates her right shoulder, raises her arm with the elbow bent, swings it across her body and back again. She drops her head back as she reaches up towards the ceiling. Lifting her head, she extends her arm out to her right, twisting her wrist, flexing each finger in turn, palm facing up, then down. Her hand drops. Gripping the wheels, she twists from the waist. She looks closely at her hand as she rotates her wrist. She reaches above her head, then out to her right, following the movement with her eyes, her head thrown back. Swinging back her arm, she bends both elbows and moves from side to side, pivoting from the waist. Her energy rocks the wheelchair. With an effort, she stops herself from overbalancing. Arms rigid, she lifts herself off the seat, then shifts to get comfortable. She stretches out and down to her right as far as she can. She twists awkwardly and struggles with the chair, almost fighting with it. Her movements become angular and frenetic. She stretches and writhes as if trying to escape. Becoming more vigorous, she swivels sideways, overreaches, and tips towards the floor. Blurred images of the spokes of a spinning wheel. The chair turns fast, in circles. Laura throws herself from side to side, twisting her head, moving her body erratically from the waist. She brings the chair to a halt, breathing hard. Her shoulders slump. Looking determined, she straightens her arms, lifts herself a little out of the chair, then lowers herself down again. Laura takes a deep breath. She lifts her right shoulder, then stops. She tries again, extends her arm, then shakes her head and drops her arm back into her lap. Again, she extends an arm and slowly begins to move it, exploring the space around her, rotating her wrist. She drops her head back, following the movement of her arm as she raises it above her head. She swings her arm back, forward, and back again. A faint smile creeps over her face. She curves her hand towards her and looks at it as she rotates it gently from the wrist. She lifts her hand high above her head, then swings her arm back, swoops it down past the wheel, across her body and back, then high up over her head again. She leans far out over the wheel, now more at ease with the chair. Laura smiles with delight as the movement flows through her body. She repeats the gestures, reveling in the sensation. She bends an elbow, looks down at her palm, raises her hand high above her head and slowly lowers her arm, rotating her shoulder, twisting her wrist, gradually bringing her hand to rest on her lap. At last she relaxes. She is still smiling. Performed by Laura Jones. Camera, Becky Edmunds. Runner, Anna Jonas. Edited by Laura Jones. Assisted by Becky Edmunds. Thanks to DADA South and South East Dance Agency. Directed by Laura Jones. Audio described by Langford, with technical support from Gary Giles.